I think that he is prone to getting really frustrated and letting that impact his decision making, which you cannot have. That can't happen. And that's something that he needs to learn moving forward. But I think overall, I think he's done an okay job. I don't think it's fair to put him in the conversation with Andy Reid and Bill Belichick and whatever else crazy stuff people want to do.
What about Luke Walton? Because you were talking about players playing for him and keeping the locker room and all this. I was like, damn, talking about Luke Walton. Players love playing. They like playing for Luke Walton too, and he ain't lost the locker room. And you think Luke's a good coach?
Luke Walton doesn't have the reputation of being one of the top offensive minds in basketball, and he doesn't have Nick Mullins throwing for the second most yards ever through a quarterback's first 16 starts. Like he doesn't have those credentials. He rode Steve Kerr's coattails for 24 games. So that's what I think the difference is there. But
or Steve Kerr rode his coattails.
Oh wow! Didn't even think about that. But Kyle Shanahan's been to the playoffs. Kyle Shanahan took a team to the playoffs. Like, get Luke Walton. Can he get into the play-in tournament and then call me? So that's where I think Shanahan is good, but he has a long way to go before you can call him, one of the best head coaches in the league. He's a great offensive mind, but in terms of being that all-around head coach and game management and time management, he had the fourth down from the 50 where they took the delay of game and punted instead of going for it on 4th and 1. I think it was like with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. That kind of stuff to me is, he goes, oh, I'd like to have that one back. It's like, that's great, but you can't get it back. You need to make that decision in the game, and you need to make the right decision. So he's a good head coach, not a great head coach.
Yeah, and I think there's no problem with saying that Kyle Shanahan is a good head coach. And I've said numerous times, and Kyle, we talked about this when you were filling in for Damien. We think he's a good head coach, but to last in San Francisco and anywhere, you have to have results. You know what I mean? And he's not on the hot seat this year, but if he didn't make the playoffs this year, going into next year, he'd absolutely